Shubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Menteri Rangba kejala ukanrat sangma haringkat sembut Menteri Rangba ubat Sniew bahlang dahar. Hendak Sniew ula Peit ba ya ke Shillong Integrated Command and Control Center Mawdiangdiang. Haba kerana kena Sniew nak liang Menteri Rangba kejala ukanrat sangma ula ong kena kena wei kalat bantek lakam ya ki jingja ki babon hak Nongbah Shillong. Lakade hak nunggu jingja ke baja kensan kum ujumai bat ki wei hak balingba kena ke Iccc kinla ban pentip syaki pat ba kenang bakin la ban husiar hak let kawan. Shushu lingba kani ka Iccc kinyo jingtip ya kijaka kibat hengkali bat kin la ban pentip syakitanat kibat daipet bakin le ya kabadan kam ula ongru bakum kini kinsa penyar shushu syaki we kisor kum ka jowai bat tura hadian pat kinsa pet sai ki we pat ke district lingba kani ka Iccc kin la ban yi ki jingja kum ka jingtu ka jingsha thombor ki kin thei ki khna lani lada ka ja hakilunti ki singkien badru lada berat jakhlia pathar lingba kani kina bante lakam bat kindan kunaru dak bahe khnang bakin nom lien shu
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much. So this got an emergency call system.
This is the main dashboard of the integrated command control center, which is connecting us to all the field elements in the city. Now, what are the field elements? The active events, inactive events are there. After the event, if a progress is going on, the progress is shown here. If it is pending, it is the reason for pending will be shown here. If it is closed, it will be shown as closed.
What do you mean parameters to which we will add that? So that the police will have to know. Then the other, say for example,
Is generated. When the alert is generated, immediately alert comes to the dashboard. This is the operator's dashboard. This is normally not seen here. This is in the operator's side. Now, when the alert comes, there's a workforce in the field. He will validate whether the information which has come it is correct or not. He'll send a message to the stakeholders, there may be police or whoever it is. And once it is validated, then an event will be created. Once the event is created, after the event, then an SOP will be followed. He will inform. So we are having a system here called IP push to talk. In that, what happens that they can make a call from here to that particular radio to the policeman also. They can communicate directly to the radio directly. We have a system of communicating.
What is smart in Iccc? So to give an answer to that in a technical manner, I'd like to say that for all smart city solutions like analysis, monitoring, management and dissemination of information collected from various intelligence systems deployed across the city, consisting of IoT like smart bins, surveillance cameras, emergency call box, and all this being done in a near real-time basis for management of situations and for better and faster and effective responses is what smart city projects are all about, is what Iccc is all about. Specifically, if we are asked, it will create a digital ecosystem with the support of ICT for what? For improving livability and sustainability. And there are many smart ICT solutions blended which will also help in the ease of doing business and also support and enable economic development through digital transformation. So we just need to have a look at the slide, please. What are the project components of Iccc? So Iccc building, which is complete in all the specs, which is like a war room, which is like a vendor agnostic system in place, which talks to other systems also. So in the future, suppose we were to have a forest dashboard also. So our system here will talk to the forest dashboard and vice versa. And it is, Iccc is meant to be a monitoring workstation. It has a very vibrant and strong Iccc platform and data center. There is a video wall just now, sir. Honorable CM sir has gone. He has seen the workstation. He has seen the data center. He has seen the war room. He has seen the conference room, and which will help us in digitally monitoring everything which is happening in Shillong. and in the future in other cities also. So we have a city surveillance system in place. It will help in solid waste management. A very crucial aspect, which is music to the ears of traffic police, will be the intelligent traffic management system. And also good news for the citizens, that is also being planned, city Wi-Fi hotspots. So all these are being planned in the long run. And also for any kind of emergency in terms of disaster, in terms of earthquakes, in terms of unrest, there will be a very vibrant system which is able to respond to any kind of crisis. Next. So we'll go through it in very brief because we have already briefed Honorable Chief Guest and Honorable Guest of Honor. So this is operations and the various smart elements, smart poles, cameras, for predictive capabilities also to predict emergencies. We just had a walkthrough and DGP Madam asked that how do you define a crowd? How do you define a crowd unrest? So SOPs will be slowly built in, and will come up with a robust platform by which cameras will be able to capture and transmit information on real time, and the response will be calibrated from the side of Iccc. Next.
Complained the bigger states, you're not happy with the ranking. A city like Shillong, which was 100, came to 60 something place. So maybe they got disappointed with that, and therefore. They stopped the ranking, say it's not fair, some states are not being highlighted properly, some are being highlighted unnecessarily and all that. So, but the point I'm trying to make is that we leapfrog many other cities, and thanks to the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister in charge of Urban Affairs, who took very critical decisions at key moments. That is I don't want to underplay anyone, but the fact of the matter is that at key moments, very important and critical decisions were taken, and yes, we will do it. Yes, we will take it. It doesn't matter whether it's 50% or 80, 90%, whatever it is, but let us start. And the reason why we are here today is because of that afternoon when we had that meeting. This is just to set the context for today's inauguration. Now the next question is smart city. What is a smart city? They've all explained technically. I'll explain in very simple language, the language that both the Walangs understand properly, the layman, as he was saying. Who's a smart person? A smart person is a person with brains. He's got brains, therefore he's smart. What is a smart city? A smart city is a city with brains. And what is the brain of a smart city? The brain of a smart city is the Iccc. This is the brain of the city, and this is connected to the eyes of the city in the form of the video cameras, in the form of then we give information. Like I give you information now. This brain will give you information in the form of those video panels. In fact, DG was saying something very interesting to me just now. He said these video panels, why don't we use them to, link with the Bryan Adams concert so that people don't come to Polo and, they can see in the video panels. It'll be very interesting, in fact. I don't know whether the organizers will allow that to happen. But it'll be quite interesting. At 20 different locations, we are watching Bryan Adams singing. I think so the whole city will be singing practically, along with Bryan Adams in Polo. So I don't know. If it can happen, it'll be a very good idea. It depends on the organizers, really. So these are the few things about the smart city. Very simple. I mean, you go through all the technical parameters, technical specification given by these officers and all that. I think so you must be more confused than me also. So that is a smart city, and this is Iccc. Now the only thing is this, we have to be cautious about a couple of things. One is the sustainability of this whole project. You have to ensure that we have a proper OPEX model. That is, ensure that it is operated properly and it is funded properly, also in the form of operations, so that it can sustain in the long run. But more than anything, adequate number of people have to be kept here, because having a facility is good, but if there's nobody to punch the keys, it will be quite useless. So have good people over here. They are the people who will make all the difference. And then we need to upgrade it a little bit in due course of time. For example, what are the biggest problems of Shillong today? The biggest problems of Shillong today, everybody will agree with me, is traffic. So there's going to be a system of ITMS, Integrated Traffic Management System, fine. In fact, we can go one step ahead. Apart from the video cameras that we have to use IoT in the form of drone technology. Using drones, then the police will have an eye of what is happening where, which vehicle is actually causing the traffic jam. The drone can do it, but the video cameras may not be able to do it. So therefore, an upgradation is required. Similarly, we all talk about e-commerce, we talk about e-governance. What is most important for ICCC, more than e-governance, is M-governance. That is mobile governance. Because the second most annoying thing, at least for me personally, I don't know about others, apart from traffic management, is vehicles standing and parking on the road. Illegally, almost all the vehicles standing on the road. And you can't do anything much about it. I request the police department to kindly at least earmark spaces where they can park and where they cannot park. That will make it clear for the citizen. But using M-governance, a vehicle is passing through, it can capture all these vehicles who are standing in the road and challan can be issued to them directly. So just imagine a person is fearing, not because the police is coming, but because technology is being used to catch them parking at the wrong place. Look at this road coming to Negrims. Always parking on both sides and ambulances have to move. If they act as detriment, a life may be lost one day. Therefore, I request the smart city officials to kindly look at using IoT, using AI for the purpose of upgrading the facility and also for improving the governance of the state. Bring in the video panel over here, who's dumping garbage wrongly where. And we wanted a partnership with all of you also. One of the third most challenging factor in Shillong city, apart from what I said, traffic management and vehicles parking on the road and wrong side, right side, everywhere, all over, is of course waste management. I'm sure urban department is having many plans to improve this Wamkra stretch, which we have had many meetings. The plans are there on the anvil and will happen very soon to beautify Wamkra river. But more than that, at the source, we have to identify people who throw garbage, and if they are caught in the video panel, they should be fined heavily. We have ice everywhere now. Make use of these ice all over the city. That is my request to the urban department, to the CEO of the municipality who's here. So these are the few things that we can really use. And another point which I mentioned was that these video panels should be available with the DC, with the SP, and also the police headquarters in a smaller scale maybe. CM's office probably. I already have a space in my chamber for creating this video panel, but it has not happened in the last 1 year. So please get it done at least in the next 6-7 months. So we are all at critical levels where we have to take key decisions, and information is the key. We need information, whatever is happening all over. So these are the things that you need to take a look. And another point which I wanted to make is that we have this ICCC here. This eyes of the smart city actually could be eyes for the whole state. So the smart city project can be extended from the state side also in cities like Jowai and Tura. We can start with Tura and Jowai, maybe go to other district headquarters later. Last point from my side. We have an app. This app is called Citizens Eye. We need to integrate this app with the ICCC, and once that is done, then this app is fully completed. We have not really launched it. We have tested many times. In fact, it's time for us to launch this app. Would have been very apt to launch this app today, but unfortunately, we are not really ready. It's not integrated with the ICCC. Once that is done, then this app also will make a lot of sense. It is fully ready. It's developed by NIC. So I look forward that these additional things are taken care of, and make sure that a proper OPEX model is developed for the ICCC, so that you have people, and also make sure that the facilities set up in the city are maintained properly and are not sabotaged by these nefarious and lumpen elements. That is very, very important. We had CCTVs once upon a time. Many of them were destroyed by these lumpen elements. So be very, very careful. I remember when we started this project, I told them that the cameras should be at a very high point, so that they just cannot climb and just go and destroy the cameras anymore. The previous CCTV project, the cameras were within reaching distance of a tall person who was 6 feet probably. So these are the points, and I would like to thank the Urban Affairs Department for inviting me here.
The brains of the Smart City project, which has been implemented under the Smart City cell. And thank you to our CEO also, who is the main man who really worked hard, and his team. And one thing that I would like to request that, especially all the stakeholders, I think all of you maybe noticed for the last few weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, I don't know which date is that, as soon as my officer has installed one of the pole in some places, welcome to Shillong Smart City. And it clipped in the video very nicely. And after 1 hour, some of the people who doesn't understand what is the meaning of smart city, they bring their garbage from his house and put it just below the pole and clip it. So it's my request, please be with us, with the government together. This is your asset. This is your city. This is your home. Who will be responsible? Please remember, no one can do it. No one can do it, but everyone can do it. I remember that day, just after 1 hour of installation, and big garbage, I think maybe 50 or 60 kg. So you see, this is the mindset. So I would like to request through our stakeholder, let us work together. Even though if the government has done many crore projects, if we are not a teamwork, and all this project will become a wastage. It will become meaningless. 100 smart city to be selected is not a joke. I think maybe there is some here and there tremendous pressure from our RCM. Thank you, sir. It's not a joke. So therefore, I would like to request, with the coming of Iccc in short, I think it will be improved, especially the safety of our citizens. Especially, this is the city surveillance system. And I'm very, very sorry to all the different localities. Yes, I think with the present projects, only 348 camera, I think, has been installed. And yes, I have received so many applications. More camera, more than 600 it seems. So even that we are on the way from the urban department, we are trying to extend it. Maybe not immediately. Let us first implement it properly in such a manner, so that we will sit as the department, we will try to extend wherever important in few places in the Shillong city. So this is only few words from my side. So thank you so much for all the teams of Urban Affairs Department, and
move and grow like never before. I also would like to thank our Chief Secretary, as correctly mentioned by Deputy Chief Minister, that while the important decision was taken by government and by the cabinet at that point in time, what was more important was to put the pieces together. And really the work that went into actually being the architect and the engineer and the contractor for the smart city concept was done by our Chief Secretary, then the additional Chief Secretary in charge of Urban Affairs, and the entire team. And of course the team that came in after that, who have then further taken that entire foundation to a reality and completion to where we are today. To ultimately make Shillong and Meghalaya the soccer capital of the country. So that's the kind of thought process with which this is happening. And I thought that it's important to give a small glimpse to all of you, so that you can start connecting to what is happening and how we're working. So it'll be good to take a picture of Unity Mall. You will see the Secretariat coming up. You will see the Skills Park. You will see the Prime Hub coming up. You will see the IT Park second phase being completed, and many other infrastructures which will come up in this entire zone. And also to top it all up, we'll be having the heliport right on top out here, so that choppers can land directly in this particular area. You're also aware that we have connected one road already going from here straight to Dingpaso, the bypass, so that we get direct access into the airport and people can come straight from the airport into this part of the city without having to go through the current Shillong city. And then you're also aware that we have recently spoken with Government of India to now extend the runway of the Shillong city, the Shillong Umroi airport, so that the larger aircrafts can land. And that, as I said, is going to be a major game changer. So what I'm trying to tell you is that none of this is happening in a piecemeal basis. This is part of a much larger plan and vision that we have for our city and for the state and for the people. And it is being planned out and implemented in a very structured manner. Sometimes it's difficult for us to explain to people what we're trying to do. It's only when you see it, then you believe that, yes, this is what is happening. For example, I remember when this post that came up saying that government is spending 200 crores on 300 CCTV cameras, and it was impossible for me to explain that what Iccc was. And I explained it, but people still did not understand and could not grasp what it was. But today when you see this building, you see the entire war room, the control room, the entire data center, the conference hall. You can see the kind of work and investment that has taken place today. And as correctly mentioned by our Chief Secretary, that this is actually the brain of the entire smart city, where the entire information is going to be brought in out here. And what is important to remember regarding the Iccc is that this is a platform. This is a technology. This is an area or a space which can act as a connection to different kind of activities going on in the IT field. So we have this entire access of the application programming interface, which we call the APIs. So the APIs are open, which means that tomorrow, if there's a different programming being done in the language which may not be same with what this Iccc works on, we can still integrate it because it is an open API, and that is what makes it very special. As was being mentioned, today we are working with the Forest Department, for example, today to connect the importance between the rainfall, the forest cover, and the springs. And we are having technology today in the Forest Department, which we're going to implement very soon, where we have, first of all, we have mapped all the springs. 7,000 springs in the state have been mapped. We know exactly where the springs are through LIDAR, through drone, through satellite. But now the next step for us is to now place different kind of sensors in each of the springs, which will then send us data, exactly live data on what is the centimeter or millimeter of water that is there, and we'll be able to monitor each spring in the coming years. We hope that we should be able to complete that project, in months and the years to come. And once that happens, we actually can monitor the actual water levels that are there in the city and in the state in different springs. Now, how does that matter? Because obviously when we want to connect that to the integrated command and control center, so that once we are able to get all of this information, it should be in one place, and the decision makers should be able to see all of this and be able to quickly decide on what has to be done next. So that's the power of IT, and that's how we want to move forward. So the uniqueness of this technology is that this is a platform, and yes, the potential is immense. So tomorrow somebody may say, well, what happened? You started the Iccc, but we still have traffic jam. Of course, you will have traffic jam. Opening it Iccc doesn't mean the traffic will stop tomorrow. But it is a mechanism and a technology that can assist us in making the right decision and timely decisions, and intervene at the time where we can reduce the traffic. Like rightly said by our Chief Secretary, you imagine, and it's going to happen, by the way, it's not just imagination. It's going to happen. Now, we already have the drones. I don't know if you know this or not, but we have a drone center in the Secretariat. So this drone center is independent. Even today, we have live feeds coming in from the drones into that particular center for all the traffic. So we have drones flying in the air, and we see the traffic that is their information. But that information is not being able to come into a kind of a unified system, and that information is not going to the traffic police in a handheld device so that he or she can make the decision on what has to be done, or the SP traffic, what has to be done. That information they're not able to take. particular ICCC will allow the footage of the drone to come into the center in the secretariat, pass it on to the information here, and from here we will spread it across to the necessary traffic police or the SP, and they will then able to make the decision. So please do remember, technology is only as good as it is applied. Technology in itself means nothing. Technology is only a system or an assistant for us to be able to decide on the right way at the right time to take the right decision. And therefore, having this ICCC doesn't mean traffic will stop tomorrow. Traffic will continue. But question is, how do we use this information now to make the decisions to now reduce the traffic? And that's what really this entire thing is about. So I'm very happy that we have started this ICCC. Now the departments have to work closely with the IT department and this ICCC to then use this technology, allowing their people to make the right decisions at the right time. So I urge the IT department, the urban department, the police department, urban municipal department to sit down, work out the SOPs, work out the protocols and the systems in place so that this technology which is now available can be used for the betterment of Shillong city and actually make it smart. About Meghalaya, I am hopeful that in the coming years, Meghalaya should become the data center capital of the region as a whole, and not just Northeast, but of the entire Eastern region, because we have the potential to do it. So this data center is going to come up right out here. When that comes in, all the data, information, programs, all the apps of all the departments will be right here. Number two, we are putting up optical fiber connectivity and last mile connectivity to every block. So this is something I want to share with you. The work is going on right now. Every block, every civil SDO office, every PHC, CHC, and hopefully every government school and college at the end, maybe not immediately, will be connected through Wi-Fi or optical fiber in the coming days and months. We are already going to finish the first phase where certain districts will already be on optical fiber, and that again will connect to something like an integrated command and control center right here. So you can imagine all the districts and all are wired with optical fiber all the way to the blocks, and we'll be able to connect that, and that last mile connectivity of the optical network fiber will be done. And I'm hopeful that in the next 12 to 18 months, we should be able to complete that project. The third part of this entire plan that we have is then to connect all of this into a large pipe. Now we know that without bandwidth, nothing will happen. So just to share with you, we are working very aggressively from the IT department to ensure that we are able to land what we call the submarine cables right here in Shillong. Now, submarine cables right now are in Chittagong, and they are of course in Tripura through Bangladesh. They are in Chennai, I think in Mumbai, a few of the locations, and it's very difficult to pull that out here. But Chittagong and the lines that we have from down south, we should be able to get the optical fibers to land here in partnership with PGCIL, and that's Power Grid India Corporation Limited. And once that happens, so you can imagine the optical fiber, the submarine cables landing into the integrated command and control center, with the data center being here, with all the optical fibers reaching all the blocks, all the schools, all the hospitals, all the government offices, so that we are in a complete IT network. That is what we want to achieve in the next 2 to 3 years. Now, once that happens, these IT parks behind you are no longer going to be just simply IT parks where we're going to be having call centers. These are going to be data assessing, programming places which do data analytics, which use AI, all the necessary other study that has to be done, or because data is everything today, you see, and we have a lot of data. The question is, what do we do with the data? What this data can help us with? And that is what AI does for us, and that is what data analytics does for us, and that is what helps us to be able to create what we call predictable models. And these predictable models then allow us to then make decisions in a better manner.